All right, go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Tyler Hahn. I am a music education major at Otterbein University with a concentration in the saxophone.
Oh, bravo. So, obviously music is a part of your life in college, and I would guess that it probably started sometime before college. So, when did you first take an interest in music? Like, what caught your eye as an artist?
Well, actually, I don't necessarily remember, but my grandma, when I was 7, we went to Virginia. She took my sister to go see Disney Princess on Ice. And as we were walking to the arena where the show was, there was a big billboard for some Philharmonic orchestra, and it was a picture of the conductor. And my grandma remembers me looking up at the poster and saying, "Grandma, I want to be like that man someday." So I'm pretty sure that I've just always known what I was supposed to be doing.
Yeah. So would you say, like, you've always kind of defined yourself as a performer? Like, that noun means something to you that it wouldn't necessarily mean to somebody else? Like, it's something that's part of your identity?
Absolutely. And, like, almost as much as a performer, I consider myself an educator.
Oh, just because music's kind of going to be part of your ambitions after college?
Actually, I plan to graduate Otterbein with my BME, Bachelor's in Music Education, and then I want to go on to Capital University to get my master's in jazz pedagogy. And from there, I would like to go to the University of Michigan and get my doctorate in musical arts in saxophone performance, and come back to a college or university and teach applied saxophone and jazz studies.
Wow. So, like, basically...
Kind of coordinate those departments.
Gotcha. So basically, like, music, for you especially in your life, is going to be something like a tool, like a learning experience that you give to other people. What do you think that music can do as a tool of expression that other art forms can't really? Like, what do you think music specifically allows you to do that you might not be able to do with, like, a painted picture or words alone?
I mean, I feel like music just connects with people in such a deep way. It's almost in human nature to have this, connection with music. And for me, when I perform, I mean, there's nothing else happening on the other end of my saxophone. It's me and my saxophone and the accompanist, and that's it. And it's, my soul is in that music, and I don't necessarily feel like words can convey the same emotions or response as a musical phrase can.
Absolutely.
There's just something about it that elicits something inside you that, poetry or art just don't, at least for me.
Yeah, absolutely, though. So would you say that, like, it does things for you, too? Not necessarily just the audience that you're performing. Obviously, they're having a great time listening. But as a performer, what has it done for you in your life that an audience might not be able to know?
I mean, music just takes me away. I mean, I'll be having a bad day, and as soon as I get behind my saxophone or I get behind a piano or a bass or really anything I play, I just get behind that, and it just takes me to just this place where I can be completely myself, and nobody cares who you are as a person when they're listening to your music. If, somebody I've never met listens to my music, they hear the same thing as somebody I've known my whole life.
So would you say music has made you more bold, like more accepting of yourself in a way that, okay, I have to share music so I can share myself better?
Absolutely.
Got you. So I know that sometimes musicians have to think about this, especially as budget cuts are faced by schools and stuff like that, but they have to face sometimes a world where music didn't exist. how, I know that for an audience, they wouldn't have anything to listen to and their days would be drastically different, but how do you think you would be different if you didn't have music? What would you do with your life? How would things change?
I mean, honestly, I don't think that without music and the opportunity to perform and lose myself in music, I honestly don't think I would be here right now. Because it's just been such an escape for me. It takes me away from everything else. It doesn't matter what kind of day I've had. I could have just had, one of the worst days in my life, and I go in the practice room and I'll play whatever my teacher wants me to play, and it just takes me away from any depression or and when I'm happy and I play music, it just takes me somewhere completely new. I don't think I'd be here. I feel like a world without music isn't the kind of world I would want to live in.
Absolutely not. And so would you say along those lines, like, knowing that life without music would be so difficult for you, that's one of those reasons you would really want to bring it on to, like, future different generations and future students, that, like, knowing what you would be without it is kind of why your future is so dependent on it?
Definitely, because if I wouldn't have had the music directors I had, I never would have found music in me. It never would be what it is now. And it would still be important, and I probably would still be going into music, but I don't think I would be nearly as passionate as I am now. And I just hope that someday I can teach somebody and save lives through music. Because you don't know what people are going through, and music just connects with everybody differently, but you just never know what kind of impact your music can have on somebody. You can change somebody's life with one song.
Absolutely. Would you say that along those kind of lines that, like, music defines you and your impact on other people? Like, I know that's a big statement to make because there's so many things that define a person nowadays, but would you say that fundamentally music defines your teaching, defines your impact, and defines, like, you as an artist?
Yes. People sometimes joke about, like, everybody only knows one thing. Well, I really only know music. I'm not good at math. I'm not good with words. I'm not a writer by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not good with history. Music is kind of the one thing that I understand and can grasp.
And are you proud of that?
I feel like music defines who I am.
Absolutely. Would you say you're proud of that, though? That, even though you might not be good at other things, are you proud of the fact that, you've mastered music?
Absolutely.
I'm proud of you, too. All right, well, that's all we have time for, but thanks for talking with me. I hope you make music for as long as you can.
You're welcome, and I definitely will.